my gosh, week 2, guys. We are back at it. Full body workouts. The workout gets progressively harder with time and the rest intervals changing this week, as you'll see in your program. There's also one bonus cardio and abs movement in which we can place in days 2 and 4 to make this week killer. We're starting out with thrusters. So that is nothing more than a full squat to press. If Ambrosia had the dumbbells in her hands, she would get a full parallel squat with the press at the top. We can use a band for this. We can use heavy dumbbells, heavy kettlebells, emphasis on heavy at the end of the time frame each week. We want to be struggling with the reps. If not, there's no sense in doing it because we need to work hard enough to create an adaptation. Everything we do is creating a stimulus to create adaptation. Glute march is next. Ambrosia's going to get on her back. She's going to get in a hip extension or fully extended hip position. There we go. We're going to adjust the camera angle there. From this point, all she's going to do is extend at the knees, and I would tell her to make sure that both of her toes are pointing up as she does this exercise, specifically the toes that are on the ground. That are good. Fantastic. You'll definitely feel a good amount of burn there. Now next is burpees. We trust that everyone knows burpees, so we'll stay on the ground because hollow sit is next. So Ambrosia's going to extend her legs fully out in front of her while she points her toes, and she's going to recline enough back that she's kind of almost like sitting as hollow sit, as the name implies, like she can almost rock back and forth even though she's not going to. To make it harder, once you guys get advanced, you can start to reach over the head and even behind the head. But that's one that it's difficult just to even sit there. So do the best you can with that. Modification would be to bend the knees simply a little bit more. 1.5 push-ups is next. Again, we did this last week. This is applicable with many exercises. For the instance of the push-up, we're going to go all the way down, halfway back up, all the way down, all the way back up. So let's try that again. Halfway back up, all the way up. Good. Perfect. So again, just to reiterate, all the way down, just halfway back up, and then all the way down, all the way back up. Next, we have our hybrid deadlift / squat jump. Look at the camera back to the longer view here. So we're just going to get a wider stance, so basically a sumo deadlift stance. And we call it a hybrid because it's a combination between a deadlift motion and a squat jump. So she's going to hinge at the hips, a little flexion in the knees, and then she's going to reach straight for the ground and explode toward the ceiling. Good. So get a couple from the side for us, Ambrosia. So you can see she's just extending at the hip. She's not rounding the back, and then she's exploding. So it's like a deadlift and a squat jump in one. So row to L. So some of you, body weight may be enough for this particular movement. Some of you, if you have a lighter pair of dumbbells, that would be great. This is more of an active rest and a really good thoracic, so upper back mobility and strengthening exercise. So we're going to hinge away at the hips, soft bend in the knee. If we had our dumbbells, we would have the heads of the dumbbell facing each other or palms facing backwards. From this point, so go ahead and face your palms backwards for me, Ambrosia. Good, perfect. From this point, sorry guys, real time, so we got a cell phone in the back going. Yeah. So you're gonna row up or pull straight back. That's motion 1. Motion 2, while we're keeping those elbows going back in the thoracic area tight, we're gonna lift the hands, making the L motion. So if we were to segment this, it would be 4 steps. Step 1, let's pull.
Sorry?
It's okay. Step 2, we're gonna lift the hands. And then 3 would be back down. And 4 is to the start position, okay? Again, a good thoracic mobility exercise. It's not necessarily about strength on that movement, more of active rest. Get ups are next. Get up. So all I want you to think about is knee, knee, foot, foot, and we're never fully extending at the knees and hips, meaning we're staying relatively low. All right, ready? Here we go. Up, up, down, down. You can alternate which foot you decide to take down and up, or you can stick to one side. It's not a big deal in this particular exercise. The main concept is just never stand all the way up. Alternating iso lateral raises, you can actually still just do that from your knees if you'd like. Basically, both hands are going to be to the outside or start in the fully extended position. From this point, both arms will never be down at the same time. You will alternate lateral raises, always keeping one hand in the air during the movement. Okay. Good there. Blast off push-ups. Blast off push-ups is last. Now, this is one that's difficult, but it's a great movement if you can get the coordination aspect of it. If not, you can always do a regular push-up variation. So we're starting in the bottom of the position. Now, not only is Ambrosia going to push up, but she's also going to push the floor away from her and push back. Stop right there. Now that is basically the finished position. So I want you to think about almost like you were going to go down into a walkout, but you kept the hips hiked. So up and back, and we stop in that position there. So it's almost like we're in this squat position at the top of the movement. And not only is it a push-up, but it's also pushing away, which means we're also, again, working that upper back, thoracic area that's so important for good posture. Now, on that one, Ambrosia also did a pretty good job of keeping a neutral spine, which is going to be somewhat hard, but we always want to try to focus on that just a little bit. So other than that, guys, we're going to break right into the bonus ab/cardio workout. Now, you could implement this one extra day, or if you wanted to go to the ultimate application, if you're looking to lose as much weight as possible and you got some hefty goals, then I would implement it on day 2 and day 5 to give you, or excuse me, I mean day 4 to give you 5 workouts this week. So starting with number 1, walkouts. Starting in that upright position, Ambrosia's going to squat. As soon as her hands on the ground, we'll walk our way out, keeping a neutral spine the entire time, ending in a plank position, walking our way back up. She bends the knees on the way up and the way down. Low to high chop. So on this, we're not going to go all the way to the ground. What I like is just a little shift on the outside. Arms will be straight. The resistance or the dumbbell will be in the arms at this point. We're going to pivot and shift over to the opposite shoulder. So the bottom of our feet, you can see there's good rotation there too, and that's in an attempt to get some more rotation. Now, if you can do that in real time, Ambrose, just to speed it up and add a little bit of power with it so they can get a look at how it should be. Good, perfect. Good, fantastic there. And of course, it's specified right side because you'll do the opposites the next time around, okay? Recline presses. So Ambrosia's back on the ground. We're going to recline as the name implies. Feet will softly be off the ground if we can. Modification, they would be on the ground. We're going to have our weights in the hands. Ambrosia's going to turn her hands facing each other, which will really naturally tuck the elbow in. And from this point, guys, we'll begin to press straight toward the ceiling, all while keeping that neutral spine and those heels off the ground. A lot of core stability there, okay? Now we would do our low to high chopper to the opposite side. Again, which is the same format and the same principles apply as we did with our right side. Star plank. Going to go back to that side camera view really quick. Now, all this is just an advanced variation of a plank. So we're going to get really wide arms extended above the shoulders and feet nice and wide too. Really align the spine so it's neutral. We're really never letting go of the ab engagement. So always continue to contract. And we're going to hold in that position just like we're stars. A lot harder than it looks. Mountain climbers, we all know what those are, right? Knees to chest, we're in a good plank position. Abs are engaged. Back and forth, back and forth. And then last but not least, we'll go to our back one more time and then we'll end with flutter kicks. So we're just going to lock out the legs once she's on the back. And then from that point, we're going to go up. Yep, we'll go in the back first and then we'll go back to, or we'll go in the upright position. So toes are pointed and we're going all the way up, all the way down. Really trying to tilt the lower lumbar in the pelvic area so that there's no arch. And then again, more advanced, we would start and we would sit up kind of like that first version Ambrosia showed you. Toes would still be straight. And then the ultimate application, Ambrosia can reach right forward with those hands and then do that. Nice job. So that is your abs cardio blast. You do 3 to 5 rounds at 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest of that. There should be a pool of sweat and you should have some awesome results throughout this week. So have fun, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit us back with your questions.